What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Outside the Net, brand new layout review. 1 second, I gotta change just a quick, boom, there. I don't know, I have to hear myself in my ears. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Outside the Net. In this video, we are breaking down the MSXL 2025 Championship layout. Last tournament of the year for MSXL. Just so you guys know, most of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. Give us all the follows, do all the YouTube things. And in case I haven't said it already, my name is Brady Nickel, and this is Outside the Net. So let's jump in. Let's take a look at this layout. You guys jumping in, watching, throw in your team name in the comments. If you're watching in the playback, give them a shout out. Let's see who all is going to turn out to this event. I know you guys are looking forward to a good weekend layout practice. So, guys, this one is kind of wild. I don't first impressions, not really sure what to think about this this snake Rito, as we like to call it. Seems kind of useless in my opinion. But we will see what kind of angles we get from it. This is an interesting look here as well in the snake, in the Viper, what we call the Snake 50, with the two pins. I've got some ideas on that as well that I think you guys may need to look out for. So let's just jump right in and kind of start rudimentary a little bit. It's kind of, you know, take on our positions, right? 5 guys on the box, and we'll start with each one. So I think we'll just start with the Dorito side and work into the snake side. This will probably be a fairly quick breakdown today, but I am looking for comments in the live chat in case anybody is tuning in live. If you have any questions, make sure to shoot them my way. So just want to look at a couple of the breakout lanes. And right away, I do see a pretty wide gap here. So there's potential to shoot that Dorito runner through that gap. It's going to have to be a pretty quick and accurate shot. Let's see if I can zoom in. And I do understand that it gets a little bit fuzzy when I zoom in here, but you guys get the idea anyways. So I think we're going to be trying to target this area right here to give the ball as much time as possible to reach that side of the field. Again, that's not very far off the box. If we mirror this up, I mean, we're talking 8 steps, you know, so your gun has to be up quick, fast, and accurate. So there is that potential over the top, maybe a blind shot there to get that in. So something to look at. All right, as we move out to the Delta, the Dorito side can. See if we can get a look. This is the furthest back bunker, closest to the corner. So your twos will probably be positioned here. Not a whole lot of tape control, although there's no tape control. But what I mean is, even the gaps between the Doritos are not very good. Somebody who is going low through here, you know, that's probably 2 feet or better, can get through completely unseen if this is your most forward position guy. Look on the inside, you can see the Cobra. So we do have corner to corner shots on the Cobra. Maybe catch a pack hanging out. You do have this gap right here, which you know, a snake player that's crawling through low is going to get right under that, no problem. But maybe they're hanging out on that little W there and trying to get some shots. Maybe you can get something in there. All right, moving into the Dorito 1. Still not all the way to the tape just yet in the Dorito 1. It's not. If we take a look here at the Delta, so you do have that shot there on Delta. If they're looking heads up, maybe win a gun battle in this position. And what is the little Snake 1, or the Snake Wedge, here. If somebody's looking inside, you do have shots there and into this center brick. Moving into the Dorito 2. Now, when we get into this position, we are completely heads up, right? So if you are looking down the tape, you have a lot of bunkers right in front. And something to keep in mind, you know, your 2 is not going to be able to support you too much, maybe from a rundown, but they're probably not going to be able to do as much gunfighting support, right? Maybe here, but I think once you get past that Dorito 1, nothing they can do for you on the tape from this position. So we may want to look at some other options for supporting this player. I'll tell you what, guys. Just looking at this Snake Rito, I don't think this thing is going to be used at all. I really don't. I mean, maybe in the case of like a late game situation where you've completely waxed this side of the field, you know, cut this off, and the remainder of the bodies are here. Maybe then utilization here, but you know, early game, it's just not going to happen. You're going to get guys getting out wide, and the moment they're out wide, if you're even in here, you're toast. So, as you kids like to say these days, getting cooked. Now, I think we should dive into them, though, see what kind of looks you get, because it's always smart to be prepared when you're getting into a bunker, what each bunker can do. That's why we take the time and walk these fields. Anyways, so, all right, there's your shot on the little Aztec there on the D side. But the closer you get to the middle, there's not a lot going on. It's really messy through the center, and I think Tom Lucier, when I reached out to the Discord, by the way, we do have a private Discord, so if you want to join a like-minded community of ballers that love to grind and get better at this game, join the community. Link is in the description. But Tom Lucier mentioned in there that parties will be on the tapes, meaning if maybe you're a newer player and don't understand what the tapes are, these are your tapes. The reason they're called tapes is because back in the day, it used to be outlined with literally with like ribbon, right? So it was marked boundaries, and they called it the tape. So that term comes up a lot. So when we say party is on the tapes, that means that most of your action is going to look like this. If I could draw a heat map, I would. But this is going to be the majority of the play throughout the day. Okay, now, so we went D1, D2, baby. If you ever hear me call this anything, you're going to hear me call it the baby Dorito. And then D3, some of you may call this D4. Now, you make it into D4. If you can get here early, win the race to the 50, I think you're going to be rewarded in some ways. I think you're going to have to win some gunfights to get there, because you can guarantee somebody will probably be right there early on, and then you'll probably have somebody contending you in the Doritos before you can ever think about getting to the D4 or the D3. But once you do here, you're looking to wrap. So remember, when we wrap, we want to make sure that we are checking off the widest position on the field to you. So from your perspective, the widest position would be, of course, you can't really wrap on this, but you need to check this off. And then as you're wrapping, you go to the can. Is there anybody there? No. Okay, let's wrap a little bit farther. Okay, anybody in this little Snake Rito 1? Okay, no. Good. We'll check off this. So you continue to wrap your way around the field. That way you don't, maybe somebody says home and you're right here, you get a little overzealous and you just snap out and then you take a ball from the delta, right? And throw your body away. That's why we always, no matter what, wrap from outside inward. But again, you get to the D4, you can wrap on the home. You've got the S1, or that little brick, sorry, that would be the money, or the god. Can't really see Cobra from here, but if you're wrapping this far, you might as well just go into their D4. If nobody's looking your way, get down the field. And then close it out from there. So, there's the Doritos. I just don't, I don't know, man. This is not, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation, I guess. I mean, you could play this maybe against the Doritos, but then your whole side is open to the snake once they cross that S2 area, right? So I'd be interested to see how this plays out getting into these positions, because you could kind of get in here and maybe do some work through the center. Maybe lock down something here, but Smart Snake is going to go low and get as far as he can. And this is interesting. Okay, so maybe if you got here early, I don't know what this gap is going to look like, because the potential for somebody to either get to this brick, the Sarah, and look across. I don't know if they'll be able to see you and how that'll translate to a live field. But if you're protected here, all the way jammed into this corner in any way, you might be able to do some kind of control here on the Doritos. That's just a theory. It's not something. Definitely, when you get to the field this weekend, walk this and see what this looks like. But from here, I mean, you have all of this. So I don't know. Something to look at. It's actually kind of a curious thing. And then if you blow something open on this side, just jump over the beam, and now you're on the inside. And even if there's somebody in that delta, they can't see you. They have to come out to the Dorito 1. And so that might be something to where you put somebody in the D1. That could work. Now we're getting into some theory, getting in the weeds here, but yeah, somebody containing here, your first attacker goes on the outside, or I guess inside rather, of this Snake Dorito, jumps over the beam, and now they are covered by this big wedge. Just a thought. Alright, so let's look at this little Aztec for early game. You could throw a lane down here. Maybe keep somebody from pushing through that zone. I don't know that you'll see a lot coming from the inside. Maybe your mirror. You probably have something from your mirror here. But somebody who's low, knows how to play tight, can easily cover that gap right there. I hope this is translating. Let me know in the comments if this is piquing your interest at all. All right, let's look at this tower. So what I don't like, I guess, is the first earliest containment you can do is at the baby. So yeah, you can stop them at D1, D2, or you can't. They can get past. Sorry, they can get past D1 and D2, but you can stop them there. So gives them a little bit of time to progress if you're the only person containing that. The snake literally has to cross this gap, and we're going to get to that in a minute, of why that's going to be tough. But if they cross that, you're in trouble. If not, you can contain that all day and maybe even, you know, wrap on the inside a little bit and play with these guys. You look on the snake side, you can kind of contain that guy a little bit. You've got this whole gap here. If anybody is not out wide past this point, you've got this whole zone through here and from the home outward. So this is an okay bunker. Wouldn't say it's completely OP. Now let's take a look at the home. This is the one that I was most interested in, I think, when I usually I'm not a guy that's like, yeah, use the home bunker all the time. But if you are here, this is the purpose of these pins. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Okay. So at this angle, I can almost guarantee with about 95% certainty that you hit this bunker, it's going right into the S2. Why is that important? Well, it doesn't matter. Let's just go into the snake now. It doesn't matter if they get into the S1 and then get into the S2. If they even head check, right, at that angle, the paint is hitting right here, it's coming straight into their face. Right through here. So that's why maybe some of you guys have heard me say this is a trap. I believe if people utilize the bounce shot, they are not going to be able to get past the S2. They're going to have to do something crazy. And I think the only way around that is going to be either, one, they lose their body in that position, two, they come off of that job for whatever reason, or three, the way you get around it, the way you take control and get around it, is you figure out the timing to go on the inside and get into this brick. And I think that's my theory with this layout, is they really want you to take control of these snake tubes, right? They want you to play all different sides of these things. Just a theory, again. But so, again, if you are, let's see if we can get a better angle of this. Okay, so this is the bunker we were at, right? Let's switch over to pink. So if you shoot your lane here, roughly, I think you're going to see that paint go right through there. And that's going to be a hard gap to cross. Especially if you have somebody in the Cobra who is keeping an eye on this tape. Because, you know, yeah, maybe the paint's hitting low, whatever, you read the paint. Maybe somebody will have the balls to try to go around that and dive in. I don't know. Of course, this is all case by case, right? Okay. So there's that. I think you're gonna see some people doubling up this home. I do think that. If you put somebody on that job, maybe they're shooting over the brick, right? Early, and then their job is right there on that pin or covering that gap. You have another guy who is shooting that gap there. If you don't have somebody in this tower, maybe you have a guy here or shooting. Maybe this guy is shooting this gap. That's a little far out. It's just on the other side of the baby and the D3, but or the D4. But yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of doubling up these home bunkers. Let's see. These pins, again, utilize the bounce shots. I think bounces are way underutilized in lower divisions. If you figure out the bounce, you unlock a whole new style of play. A lot of guys don't like bounce shots, but they are part of the game, and you use every tool in your belt to help you win. All right, let's look at the, so we call this the God or the money. I don't know. Not a lot going on for D side. There is some gaps here, but again, not the strongest position to even attempt that. Honestly, I really don't like this bunker at all. You really can't see anything D side. Maybe you pop the top. That's risky. I mean, throw something that way. I think this is going to be a transition bunker. You know, if somebody's not letting you through this gap for whatever reason, you stop here, wait for your opportunity to get into the snake. But I don't see that bunker being played a lot. Now, I have heard a lot of things about the Cobra being the best bunker on the field. So this is what undetermined by me, or whatever that means to you. But other people have called this the best bunker. And it does look like you have a lot of vision over the field. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a zoom in here. Again, guys, I know it's kind of grainy when you zoom in here, but now you've got the delta, and you've got that little apple right there. Anything coming that way, you could definitely get some shots in. It's a long shot. Don't always like to take those coast-to-coast shots, but you have the visibility, and you know, something we haven't really touched base on in this episode is communication. So being able to see everything is huge for communication. So even if you can't get shots cross field, you can tell your boys, hey, you know, he moved from Delta to D1, maybe they missed that, and you keep those comms alive. Yeah, you can really see a lot from this bunker. Looking down the tape. The only real threat, if you're looking down the tape, is your mirror, which would be the other corner. So you shoot that guy out, or they don't even have a Cobra in there, you can wrap all the way around here and maybe make for some interesting play. Uh-oh. There we go. So yeah, Cobra does look like a solid position to put a body in. Snake 1. Looks like you've got one of these days, guys, I'll learn these controls. I swear. Eventually, we'll get back to using our studio, which is much more detailed. So the D1, there's that. Anybody crossing over it from the baby into the D4, you do have those locked down from here and into the S2, which I think both of these will be cake to get into. And again, there's the D4 right there. So if anybody, you hear Dallas or Lucy, whatever you want to call this big brick right here from the S2, you got a great line of sight on the inside there. Keep them honest. And remember, you get to this point here, this is where you have to watch out for that bounce shot. If nobody's ripping that, you gotta go. I mean, if you maybe a quick head check into that, and if nobody's shooting this shot, that's your opportunity. Now, at this point, you definitely have to watch out for this guy. But honestly, guys, if you make it through that gap, if you survive through it, I'm going all the way to their S2. I'm going to get as far up the field as I can and try to surprise attack somebody. Maybe get 2 kills off the D side. That's huge. And then if you get a kill or 2 on the other side of the field, you've done your job. It doesn't matter if there's somebody else on the other side of that snake tube or that apple. They come around and stab you. You kill 2 bodies on that side of the field. You've done your job. Well done. So you get those kills, and then go hunting down your side of the tape. Literally take every body off the field that you can see from this point, and then you start hunting down the tape. Yeah, so there you go. There's that snake. So we could take a look at these bricks here, these little mini bricks. Yeah, this is about the same thing as the S2. Maybe you can see a little bit tighter gap there, or a little bit farther into that left brick, but not a whole lot going on here. I definitely wouldn't want to pop the top on these. If it's necessary and you're in this position, maybe you wrap to put somebody in here. If nobody's shooting through this gap, dive into the brick. I'm not really sure why you'd want to be here unless, again, it's late game, you're trying to close out a point. And maybe you need to bully somebody out of this corner, right? So you're in this position, you have your cobra, your snake corner, bullying that guy as well. Now, I'd like to look and see, because you do have a lot of gaps from the inside of the Sarah, this snake side brick, what it would take to get there early game. I can tell you it's going to be hard. If you can survive, I guess, getting here, but then you have to. Problem is, if anybody gets to that cobra and is looking inside your toast, because this is, I want to say these are 10 feet, so 10, 20, 30, 35, 30, 32, 35 feet. That's a haul. It's a big gap. So, but it could be rewarding. That's what I was getting at. It could be rewarding if you make it to that from there. So, there we go. There is the MSXL 2025 championship layout. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm curious of how this is going to play. I wish I was going to be there for this one. I am not, unfortunately, but anybody gets any video footage of the day, tag PBN in your video, and we'll come give it a watch, give it a review. Love to shout you guys out and support the community as much as we possibly can. And again, guys, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, we really appreciate all the support that you guys are giving us and continue to give us with Outside the Net, which is, maybe I should give a little bit of a what's the word, remark, whatever. So I told you guys that Outside the Net is over and we switched to the True Grit podcast. Well, yes, that is kind of true. Outside the Net is not actually over. It's what our specific paintball outlet show is. So the layout reviews, if we have paintball specific talks on like technical side of paintball, any kind of shorts, videos related to PBN content will be with Outside the Net. Now, True Grit podcast is something totally different, still in the realm of paintball. We're all paintball players, but it's our mental health, physical health, our show dedicated to that. So if you missed last night's episode of the True Grit podcast, make sure to tune into that. The replay is up live now. It was a phenomenal conversation between me and Steve in mental health and some steps that you can take to better your mental health and take care of yourself mentally and physically. So, guys, thanks again. I'm Brady Nickel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya. Future of paintball. This is PBN, where our battles, our triumphs, and our stories live. A platform built for the players and the fans. Live tournaments, exclusive content, the game brought to you the way it was meant to be seen. The highlights that matter most, not just the pros, but you, your team, and the rivals you face across the field. Every breakout, every clutch moment.
The first time I played, my story's a little bit different.
The film room. Search your rivals, study their moves. Every match is archived. Winning is at your fingertips. The platform. The highlights, the film room. This is the future of paintball. This is PBN.